All hail Liberia, hail, all hail Liberia, hail. This glorious land of liberty shall long be ours. Though new her name, great be her fame, and mighty be her power. Though new her name, great be her fame, and mighty be her power, and mighty be her power, and mighty be her power. 1, 2, 3, 4, in joy and gladness, with our hearts united, we'll shout the freedom of our rights united. Long live Liberia, happy land, this home of glory, liberty of God's command. This home of glory, liberty of God's command. All hail Liberia, hail, all hail Liberia, hail. This glorious land of liberty.
One day eat together. God's time is the best time. Don't let you see so. Can't change any time, man. Can't wait for day. Only go and drop the flag. The rich and the poor. We one day eat together. I've never been to a psychiatry hospital. I've never been down to a mental home. But I've been through poverty. It wasn't easy. Yes, I've been through trials. It wasn't easy. One thing I must tell you, that with us never win.
Thank you so much for being part of this program. As usual, I'm here to bring you news, information. Good afternoon, folks. We want to welcome all our viewers and listeners across the globe. Thank you for being here today. This is day 5th of the state of emergency in Liberia. A lot of conversation is ongoing in the West African state of Liberia. The lawmakers are in session today. Voices from across the nations, all part of the world, making an impact to the ongoing political discourse. We want to welcome you to this broadcast. I will be hosting the distinguished gentleman here. The young folks in Liberia, the great significant portions of what is happening in the country, and it is imperative that their voices are also heard. And so, I will be talking to one of the progressive young student leader, currently based in the Kingdom of Morocco, is on the study. He's adding his voice to the ongoing discourse, especially with his piece that he wrote. We're going to be looking at that and hopefully to also dive into other news making headline. Stay tuned. I'm Alfonso Ziensot of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV. Very shortly, we will get this program on the way. Just do me a favor. If our audio is perfect, just give me a thumbs up. But from what I see from my end, everything seems to look good. So we are here. Very shortly, we're going to get this program going here. Public Radio and LPR TV right here from the New England Bureau desk here in the East Coast of the United States of America, 11:59 Eastern Standard Time. We're going to take this quick commercial break and we will be right back after this commercial. Easy and so, stay tuned. I will be right back.
Social distancing is one of the effective ways to avoid getting the virus. Keep at least 6 feet from each other in public places. Avoid hugging and shaking hands. If you must greet, use your legs or elbow to greet one another. Do not sneeze openly in the public, and when you want to cough and sneeze, use your elbow. After you've done that, please wash your hands and elbows immediately.
Fellow Liberians, we're all aware of the spread of COVID-19 or coronavirus in our country, Liberia. In efforts to stay safe and keep others safe, please follow the safety measures. For example, use your hand sanitizer daily. When you touch something, sit somewhere, or get out of a car.
Please stay away from crowded areas and avoid those seen sneezing or coughing.
And when coughing or sneezing, kindly use a tissue, towel, or bent elbow to contain the sneeze or droplets that falls off your mouth.
Begin to eat fruits and vegetables like oranges, garlic, lemon, and drink ginger.
Okay,
These will
there
help
you
build
have it
your
there.
immune
Let me see
system to
it.
fight against
John,
the
are you there?
virus, just in case you mistakenly encounter it.
Also, drink enough water
I'm
and
not hearing you. Are you
juices.
there?
Have enough rest. Please do not stress yourself.
Let me see. Check
All
it. Are
these
you hearing me now?
measures help build up our immune system
Okay,
to
good.
fight
All right.
against
I
this
think that was
virus.
my fault.
Avoid touching
Okay,
your
well, folks,
eyes,
we want to
nose,
welcome
and
you.
mouth,
Thank you very
especially
much.
with
This is
hands
Alfonso
that are
Ziensot
not
of the
thoroughly
Liberia
washed.
Public Radio
Please
and
don't.
LPR
Don't shake
TV,
hands and avoid
right
crowded
here this
areas.
morning.
Talking
New
with
England
you.
Bureau of the Liberia Public Radio. Joining me now live from the Kingdom of Morocco is a young Liberian currently studying in the kingdom, is adding his voice. And it is important that we have all of these discussion going. Okay, my dear brother, Mr. Simbe John Silas Simbe the third, right? Am I calling it the right way?
Yes, but it's the second.
The second. Oh my God. Okay, now I kind of starting up messing up here. Okay, is that good morning or good afternoon your time?
Is it's in the evening here. It's about 5 o'clock.
5
5 o'clock p.m.
5 o'clock. Okay. All right. Thank you for coming on here. Let me make sure get this audio right. Okay, good. It is just 12:02 Eastern Standard Time here from the East Coast here. Okay, Ty, good evening and welcome. I know it's been a while we have not had a discussion here. And I will not ask you to introduce yourself. I wish it was just with only in my purview, but every blessed day we have new viewers, new listeners on this network here. So, Ty, just quickly introduce yourself and then we'll get the ball rolling.
Yes, like you said, for the sake of the viewers, I will introduce myself, but I'm not screened to this platform. I'm John Celestin with the second, as you rightly said, and I'm a student in the Kingdom of Morocco, where I studied international public law, and I've been engaged in several voluntary activities in Liberia, and I form part of several international organizations. And currently, I'm also volunteering with the Youth for Change Incorporated. The video you just played on the COVID awareness is one of our work we've been doing. So I'm here today to contribute to the program, my own little way of informing not just Liberia but Africa at large, because this article went across other African countries and other people called me and they commended the article and they saw the contributions I made very significant.
Okay. All right. There you have it, Mr. Sameway. Thank you so much. And you're quite correct. You are not strange to this platform. Neither am I strange to you or you. And I must acknowledge of the kind of, as a young person, the sort of leadership style that in you that I saw that was exhibited when we had this fundraiser with respect to the students in the Kingdom of Morocco, and you coordinated that despite of all the students in different parts of Morocco, different states, every piece of information that we needed to help us to expedite the fundraiser was good. And let me acknowledge a friend and a brother. I got to know him lately, but I got to know he is a very good gentleman, Mr. Ellis Divine, currently in the USA. We're going to get to that article, rest assured, but let us establish a little bit foundation here. Youth for Change. Let me ask you, let me grace you, how the students in the Kingdom of Morocco, how are they doing?
The students are doing very well. They are doing well, and then they urge me to extend their gratitude to you because they are forever grateful for the contribution of the Liberia Public Radio through you, the fundraiser, and we had problem the last time you intervened. Currently, as I speak to you, all of our students, we have not had any case of sickness or anything. We've been in contact with our students on a daily basis. We've been working with them, and we've been in direct communication with the Ministry of Education because that is our direct and partner we can discuss with in regards to student issues. As you may be aware, Liberia closed her embassy in foreign countries, so it's difficult to get to the embassies here. We have problems, but yet instead, staffs of the embassy are available to us at any time when we have problems, when we are in situations, we can call on them. And we've been engaging the ministry through our parents on other things that we think is very important. But on a general scale, all of the students are doing well and they want me to convey their greetings to you and to the entire listeners here.
All right, that's so good. We are happy. And how severe is this virus, this epidemic, this coronavirus? How severe it is from the kingdom side, from what you can tell us, or specifically your state? What are you hearing?
The Kingdom of Morocco is no exception to several African countries. In fact, if you follow the statistics, there are 4 African countries that have exceed 1,000 cases, and one of them is the Kingdom of Morocco, and you have Egypt, you have and South Africa, and that of Algeria. These are 4 countries that have exceeded 1,000 cases. So that implies that there's a serious outbreak of the virus here, considering the culture of the people, considering the population of the people. Just for example, Casablanca as a city alone is a commercial point and it's difficult to contain movement there, but the government did her part to implement a lockdown and just as other government did, and this is very severe here. And we, like for my city, we have almost like 50 cases on a daily basis. We have the least sometimes we have 20. The cases are increasing, but generally we are following the media, and the government is projecting that because there was a degree passed that all citizens and residents should be, they are compelled to wear masks. So the government projected that in the nearby future, there will be a reduction in the cases because most of the cases we have here, they are family related cases because the culture of the people here, they live in large families. For example, you have a house, you have your mother, your wife, your parents, a lot of other people you have in the house. So in case you contact the virus, it's very easy to spread the virus over. So it has been spreading generally through family interaction, and the government is also putting in some very drastic measures to contain the situation here. But generally, we thank God that we are alive and our students and most of our friends, and we are also in solidarity with the Kingdom of Morocco because they have shown us kindness since we came here, and we think that this country is courageous. Likewise, Africa, Liberia, and all other countries in the world will defeat COVID-19 very soon.
Wow. Okay, and definitely our prayers and thought goes out to you guys. Especially, it is a difficult time being away from your own mother's land, your own native land, and going through this sort of a tough time here. USA is no exception. videos and images we're seeing coming from China, Liberians being thrown out, and for us to hear that in the meanwhile, all of you guys are doing great. This is something that we are extremely, extremely proud of you people, because you guys have to be preserved because you are the future generation, the face of the country, Liberia. Okay, so are you ready for us to open this conversation that you have created here this afternoon?
Exactly. The conversation is fascinating, and
Yeah.
I think we do our viewer justice to also
Yeah.
elaborate on some of the claims we make,
Yeah.
because these are very hard claims.
And you're quite correct because I was shocked when you posted that, and I did a little post here. I got a call from Australia just before coming on air, and they wanted to know who this person was, and they're going to be tuning in. And I briefly shared it article, and that was quite fascinating, well penned, and I'm proud. And we want to acknowledge Mr. Devant, and I hope we will come to that. But let's see here. Uh, how is the youth for change? Ellis Divine is such an extraordinary guy. I've been seeing him traveling throughout the length and breadth of the country, but I'm wondering whether the kind of support that he needs or the kind of support youth for change, because this is not about him. He's setting a long-term goal for Liberia, not for Maserati, but for Liberia in bringing the young and potential, giving them sense of direction. But I'm frustrated here. Probably I'm going over the ball. He has not told me anything. But from what I see, I do not see the kind of support that he should or this organization, Youth for Change, to have. Is that something alarming to you as well?
Yes, Mr. Zoe is alarming, and it is the case in Liberia and most African countries. 2014, Mr. Divine, without any resources, mobilized Liberians to do awareness for Ebola. And after 2014, there was this phenomenon of a Super Friday in Liberia that took the lives of many young people because they gathered on beaches to engage in other activities. Mr. Divine single-handedly mobilized resources, and Kwan, what you refer to today in Liberia as the Liberian Championship, 2014, 2015, 2015, came in contact with Mr. Divine. I was just a high school student. Mr. Divine molded me, and all of who I was now, all through I've been with you for change. I've learned a lot of things from him. So what you said is true, but this Mr. Defan I know is not bothered by support in most cases. Most of these things you see him doing towards the country is not bothered by if he will obtain approval of the government or approval of any other person. He's one of a character that is very, very focused in what he's doing. So when it comes to the working of Youth for Change across the country, it's quite correct that Youth for Change is not getting the full support, but Youth for Change has been able to use the minimum resources they've been able to gather to do extraordinary things. Today, you find students across the world, you find students in Liberia, other students. Youth for Change is taking the lead in fighting this COVID-19 virus through awareness, massive awareness program. Youth for Change now is calling a scholarship program that will force students who are less fortunate from high school to enroll to universities and other training institutions. Youth for Change have an ongoing vacation program to keep students glued to their books. Youth for Change is doing just extraordinary in Liberia, and I must applaud Mr. Define and his team. They are doing very well, and we are in the loop. We are observing. We are making our own contribution because we are product of the work of Mr. Ellis Divine.
All right. We hope to talk to management after this whole corona drama here. Hopefully it's subsided because it's kind of difficult to get two things bucket up at the same time. It won't get the public attention. And I'm quite sure the board and LPR folks would not have no problem for us to put out some sort of fundraiser here to help the students, and that's what we used to. I want to welcome our own senior photographer from Philip, Mr. Nudu Jeru is here, and own friend and brother Rudolph Cooper Jr. from the Ocean State. My man, I hope you're washing your hands. Okay, so let's see here. This is the article here. We're going to be going to a pieces by pieces and piece by piece, whatever way. Let me just look at the caption here. Starvation's military brutality and ignorance might kill more Africans than the novel coronavirus COVID-19. That's the caption. That's the headline. Am I correct?
Yes, exactly, Mr. So.
Okay, so talk to me here. There's a lot of key words here to imply into these headlines that claim my attention: starvation, military brutality, ignorance, and then we came down to the main subject is the COVID-19. Let's take it step by step. What is the starvation aspect of this thing that you're talking about?
Like I said in the article, starvation is starvation has been a major problem in Africa. If you do a statistics, if you read the report, the survey published by the Guardians in 2019, 60 million children every year die from starvation in Africa. There are other statistics to prove that, but just some of these statistics, I don't need them to tell that people are starving. Just in other African countries, just in Liberia alone, how many kids can I afford to eat? How many children die from malnutrition and other stuff? So starvation has been a long-term problem. But aside from that, prior to the COVID-19 situation, there's the issue of farming, there's this issue of locals taking over farms and things that have occurred in Africa. So generally, Africans that have been engaged in farming, majority of the population of Africa have been engaged in subsistence farming.
Mm-hmm.
And that means that most Africans will farm per day to eat per day.
Just to
So
eat.
yes, in our typical vernacular, we say in our Liberia parlance, we say from hand to mouth.
Right.
So these are the activities of Africans. Aside from Liberia, even in other African countries, they have to farm to eat per day. And starvation, why I said starvation is going to kill more Africans than the novel coronavirus, considering the lockdown that has been imposed. The implication of this lockdown is very huge on these people that we are speaking about now. People who don't work to save. Majority of Africans, they don't have jobs that afford them the opportunity to eat for today and save for tomorrow. Taking Liberia as a case study, taking Ghana, taking Nigeria, and many other African countries, most of what they earn, they use for the day. Even those who have jobs, they are not well paid, and the money they earn, they have to use to sustain themselves. So for them to be indoors for 21 days without a direction given on how they are going to survive, for me, I think that is a form of starvation, and starvation is going to account for more deaths in Africa than COVID virus scare is not taking. And why I say this because starvation has been an old age problem. Even though we've not declared a national emergency or state of emergency for starvation, it has become very usual in our environment. It has become obvious that people are facing starvation across Africa. And the very funny thing about it is that people don't get starvation through contact. And you don't have to use social distancing as a means to prevent starvation. So we don't consider it a pandemic, but it's an issue in Africa. And I think if we don't deal with it with the current situation of COVID-19, it's also going to account for deaths as it has been doing the past year as compared to COVID-19.
So it seems to me there are complex issues that we are gradually trying to dive in based on this article. What I've read, I have gone through it. You won't believe. Since yesterday, I've been reading and still going through here. But the only person that can give perfect interpretation, it is the author. That happens to be you. So we have issues before with this starvation, we should say, and you are quite correct. It's no stranger to Africa, and especially Africa, an unprivileged third world country. If I hear you saying 21 days, are we referring to Liberia or generally in context of what is happening globally now?
If I speak of 21 days, most African countries, my study have shown that most African countries impose a lockdown for 21 days. And based upon the 21 days, they also further said that after the 21 days, if there is a need for extension of this lockdown, the government is going to extend the 21-day lockdown period. But on a general basis, most African countries' quarantine period have been doing between 21 days and some have surpassed 21 days. For example, where I live now in Morocco, in Marrakesh, the government announced that for 21 days, but the 21 days have ended, but yet instead the lockdown have been extended because of the increase in cases. Yes. So the 21-day period is an average lockdown period for every African country during the period of COVID-19. And these are justifiable because these are measures that are proposed by African government in order to curtail the virus. But in that, I don't disagree with the fact that these are justifiable measures put into place. But the implication of these measures, that is why in the end of the article, I propose that there should be a well-designed program put into place to complement the lockdown period.
Okay.
Because if we don't have this, we really into another situation.
Okay, we're going to be going through it by little, paragraph by paragraph, to give those who have not had the chance, and well, with your permission, we will definitely have this publication on our official website on the LIBERIA. Let me welcome President Winston Gould of my own Ocean State of Rhode Island, and student William Twawant II. These are great young generations of our country, and I feel so heard that people are now taking heed to it. Okay, so let's do it like have a little bit restrictive yet. As time go by, we get out of the bubbles and trying to make reference exactly to Liberia. You have a lockdown. I have a lockdown in this country. Measures put in place. There are certain states in neighboring state Massachusetts, and you have to wear mask. Other than that, you are fined $1,000 US. But let's take it back home here. And from what I gather from you here, it means there was a lot of critical issues were unsettled or they were not addressed by national government, and they added insult to injury. That seems to be the concern that you are expressing.
Exactly. If you read the article, this article was prepared for publication by Saturday. So there was sufficient observation done across African countries. Liberia is just one of them. But there are many other countries that there was a serious resistance to the lockdown, and it was not very feasible for preventing the COVID.
Why you think the resistance came into force by the citizenry? Why you think the resistance? It was something that was meant to protect them for health reasons, but why you think they were protesting?
They were protesting, Mr. So, as I drew an analysis in my article, they were protesting because they had a decision to make between starvation and prevention and survival. If you have to decide between prevention and survival, definitely you're going to take the lottery of preferring survival over prevention. So they had no choice. So they resisted, most of them resisted the lockdown. And the second thing to consider was that the timing of the lockdown. Most of these lockdowns were imposed in Africa without prior notice to citizens. There were no time to, even those who were earning, they had no time to prepare for this kind of situation where they would stay indoors. And we know very well that Liberia Africa is not like other countries where people can stay home and work on their computer and other things. Most of these jobs require people to be at their workplace, and they are staying home. Most of them have serious liabilities to take care of. Most of them have not earned enough money to stay indoor, and majority of them survive on petty commercial activities. Taking Liberia into a case study, if you do a statistics of how many Liberians are found in the market daily, like crowded areas like red light, waterside, other areas in Liberia, these are the people who will not definitely abide by a lockdown that will stop them from finding their survival. So that resistance came about when the people saw a lockdown and they didn't see anything that will show them
to supplement.
Exactly. Exactly. So that is where the resistance comes from, and there shouldn't be a screen thing to us. Putting the military in the street is not a guarantee that people will not fight for their survival when they have a choice to make between survival and prevention. Because we can recall that during the civil unrest, people were leaving their home in the midst of bullets passing and going about to find food for their children. So there should be an knowledge that should inform our decision that people will always do anything. They will go to every extent to survive when they have that choice to make. So I think basically these are some of the factors that prompted some of the people to resist the lockdown that were imposed on many of these African countries, including Liberia.
I want to welcome a veteran journalist who I consider as a mentor, journalist James Gomian, formerly of the State Radio to ELBC and ELW8. And I see many of your students and your colleagues from the kingdom. If you are following us here from the kingdom of Morocco, we wholeheartedly want to welcome you. So let me just ask you here, you as a young person here, because I saw in the saw in your caption here and hearing the word military here. What comes to mind when you see military servicing when it is not a combat, but it's a different form? What comes to mind? And I see it here the word brutality, which is synonymous to the actions of the military in our African or world all over. What is your initial instinct for which you injected this word?
The first thing is that the African people, most countries, especially those that have been through civil unrest, and some of them who have government currently that came to power through military coup d'etat, or what people may call revolution. The most African countries that just came from civil war, they are very, very much reactive to the presence of the military. And when the military were placed in the streets in various African countries, many countries did not give a well-defined enforcement policy to some of these military officials, because if you can ascertain that from the fact that many militaries were not able to distinguish a national health emergency against a pandemic that is invisible from a war-like imposed curfew, because these are two different things. During the war, when they declare a curfew that everyone should stay indoors, is quite different from a pandemic that involves and disease, transmitting one disease from another person to another. So many of these military people came to the street with a very different mentality. That is why, for example, if you follow some countries and you see the treatment of the military and the action of the military, some people concluded that the military probably has some differences with other people that they came to settle, because some of them acted out of the boundary, and I cannot blame them fully,
disregard for human dignity and stuff like that.
Exactly. I am a student of international law. I understand very well that during state of emergency, certain fundamental rights are suspended. Yes, I do agree. But the method of enforcing a state of emergency that has to do with a pandemic cannot be synonymous to that of a curfew or a wartime enforcement. So the military should try to strategize a better form of enforcement. And you even realize that the military, you don't see sort of unanimity in their actions or their approach. And there are confusion. Even in Liberia, there are confusion on who will do this and who is part of this, who is going to enforce this. So if the military or the joint security force will come to the street and stay strategizing on responsibility, and they are not stay clear on who should be involved in enforcing the state of emergency, then I think there's a problem on that side that the government has to sit back to the table and redesign this lockdown in a way that the people will not resist the military. Because I bring this to your attention. If you follow the Ebola situation, there was a serious resistance of the military in West Point, and that led to the death of one of our brothers, Shaki Kamara. And today, people are still regretting that, because the military during the then lockdown became very unpopular of the people, and in the end of the day, you saw resistance and you saw why it led to. So to avoid this, the government has to sit to the table and draw a better plan on enforcement, or the military themselves as a trained force must re-strategize on how to keep people out of the street. And that's why I propose that people could be fined for certain violations. But in the theory of the enforcement in Liberia and that of in Kenya and other countries, if you see the brutality and the casualties that were inflicted on many people, these were serious issues that we were completely defeated in the fight of COVID, and our focus now is how we attend to these people who are being beaten by the military. And definitely, if we continue proceeding that way, we lost focus of the main enemy. So the important thing to do is that the military presence should not be a one that will scare the people, or should not be a one of brutality or casualty. The military should behave in this situation as a Boy Scout. And in the way of Boy Scouting, they must understand that this situation differs from war or any other insurrections.
So it seems to me, before coming to putting this piece here, which I really see as a reality master piece here, that our national leaders, those that are in authority, seems not to do their due diligence to set the stage and to create that sort of effective awareness, making civilians to feel very comfortable and explaining to them in-depth reasons of which they even going to be. Because I see further down here that you wrote, and like I said, we're going to be going through it pieces by pieces here. You said on the onset of coronavirus in one huge China, which of course is the origins of this whole pandemic that we are in now, to its rapid spread to Africa, Asia, and America. Many African countries around the world upon that Africans were immune. And I quite agree with you. People feel, well, okay, it's in Africa, the humanity there, the heat there, so you're going to kill it. And so we were not going to be even the victim, so nobody was going to lie. So it seems yet this thing started, the news came out. Our guys, our folks, we don't want to have a blame game here, but this is meant to also for them to prepare them for future. We are in a volatile war now to get ahead of the game. That did not happen.
That's a serious problem, Mr. So. And speaking to you now, I spoke to a friend 2 days ago in Liberia, and I was just talking to him, and I told him that, guy, you have to see how best you stay away from public and you take prevention. And he said to me, it's possible for this thing for African to die from coronavirus. I was shocked because this is the message. People spread a lot of misinformation about this coronavirus. And it is the responsibility of government to be very effective in propagating information to citizens.
We don't want to sound political here, that much, but again, we will sound political because at the end of the day, it is the politicians that make up these decisions that get us to be here, whether it's a health decision, whether it's economic decisions, whether it is a political decision. It is in the hands of those folks on Capitol Hill and maybe from the executive mansion. So, you think they did their work? They did what they're supposed to do?
They did what they could do, but they could have done more. And I hope that this situation will inform them. The next time we have this type of situation, we don't pray for it. But when we had Ebola, we never thought that we could have had coronavirus. But now we are faced with this situation. So I hope they can draw lesson from this situation because the misinformation started in many countries, even in the U.S. and other countries.
Oh yeah, the guy, our own guy said, yeah, it was a hoax. It was a Democrat hoax, and even up to this time here. But so I think the people slip down the road here. Everybody, the entire world, I don't think they really see this coming as a serious threat, economic threat, social threat, and bringing the whole world to a stagnant.
Exactly. Many people sat on popular and radio station. People sat on television and said that the biological composition of an African man cannot allow him to contact the coronavirus. And that information went wide across that many Africans started becoming very reluctant to take prevention. Other people started saying this, and that is ignorance. And that caused the virus to even spread faster than most African came in contact with that. That's why when you read the article, I try to state the statistics from the John Hopkins.
Right.
Yes, for people to know, Africans have died from this virus. Many people continue to die. Where I live, there are people dying every day. In other African countries, they have reported death. Even our own Liberia has reported death. So this is a very serious situation. People overlook this. People thought differently. People said this is not going to catch an African person. People even said that because of your age range, you will not catch coronavirus. But the last time I checked, people at over 100 years, people between 90 and 80 are surviving. And there are young people who are also dying. So the best thing to do is to take prevention regardless of anything. Regardless of your race, regardless of your sex, regardless of your age, you should take prevention. Because if you rely on this misinformation, and I know our people, when they have these thoughts and they get these initial thoughts, especially with the propaganda house that many people are parading with, oh, this is a strategy for government to generate funds. When it just came to Liberia, that was what people said. Oh, the government is trying to raise money. The government is announcing cases because they heard that there was an expropriation of money for countries that are affected, so the government announced our own case. So many people overlook this entire situation and say government is doing that as a strategy to get international aid. But that is not the situation, because the reality is that people have died and people will continue to die if we not feed our people with the proper information, if we don't inform them that this situation cut across every continent, regardless of your race, you can contact the virus, and the statistics are there. They are written on the wall, available to you. You can read it and know that Africans can die. That is one thing you should understand. Africans can be infected, and number two, you can be a young person, you can get in contact with the virus, you can be contaminated. It's not about your age, it's about your prevention. Follow the preventions and don't rely on age, because that is a misinformation that when you have in your mind, definitely you're going to die out of ignorance, because that is not a virus, that's your ignorance to the fact that the virus is catching people regardless of these things.
And you are quite correct. I think the president, the former president Barack, sent a tweet out yesterday. And for those here in the U.S., here, the black, the Latino Americans, they are becoming more victim of this because of their own conditions and medical pre-existing conditions and all of that. Comes to it. So, how can we get this yet? My own little frustrations and apprehension here, and I want to narrow it down to my own government here. I'm not sure whether all of the relevant agency or group of people that have been in the vanguard, this non-for-profit or organization, like even your own organization, You for Change, this group, without having the specific statistic on hand, the young generation, they are in a significant number. And it would make sense because these people can easily appeal, to their peers group by talking to them, persuade them to make them to understand. But because of this proliferations of fake news and people making out things, and I was surprised, to correct, just recently on this program, there was a guy who called from UK. He started off good old Liberian should, take heed of his virus is real, how the prime minister was hospitalized, even the queen. And then he came back to fire in a last to say, I do not believe this virus is in Liberia. The president and the government is a ploy to get money out. Like, are you serious? So do you believe the virus is in Cote d'Ivoire or Ghana? He could not answer that. These are dangerous folks that we have within the community. This virus does not have a boundary between it, no respect of being an opposition or even a government president or anybody, no boundaries. So should the government go within the community and get people who will really get the information, real awareness?
This is a problem, because I read some articles and report of the fight against Ebola. And one of the major tools that our government used then to defeat this Ebola virus was the awareness and the approach of the government at the community level. They did large scale awareness, they did other things at the national level, but more engagement were done at the level of the community. And that is very efficient in defeating the virus. Because you see, the fact of the matter is that people are fair with different things, and society is diverse. The society we have is not as sophisticated as other society, and that is why the rate of the virus in terms of spreading it differs from one country to another, because of the culture. The society is quite different. So you will find that in certain countries you have certain rate of death and cases. In certain countries you don't have these things. So I believe that what the government can do moving forward is that we've said that this design program that I spoke about is going to also find a way in which that people can have proper education, people can have proper knowledge of what this virus is. Because I'm very afraid that many people who claim to be like wanting to be on the front line to fight this virus, some of them don't have the single knowledge of what this COVID-19 is. And if this is the case in most countries, people who were engaged in that front line might just help to make this situation very worse. If people start to feed people with misinformation and people who are not sophisticated to understand the issue at hand, engage into this situation, is going to be bad. And another thing is that the the manner in which people are politicizing the entire virus. That is one of the major things that we have to consider. Like I read a report now from South Africa that some of the opposition's political party were like complaining that the ruling party ANC, they put people on the field to do distribution of food and other stuff, but these people were wearing political party regalias. They were wearing shirt in the form of campaigning while doing distribution and other things. So when they go to certain segment of the community and these people are not supporting these political parties, there's definitely resistance. So this is a very serious issue that we have to understand. This is not our point to. This is not a campaign issue. This is not a place. This is not a politics issue. This is why the director of the WHO said we should quarantine politics. Because if we infuse politics into the fight against this virus, definitely we're going to be defeated. Because the fact of the matter is that politicians sometimes behave in a very heartless manner. You cannot spin this situation in your advantage. If you see in the article published, you will see a case study of a lady in Kenya who was heavily brutalized because a politician went into a slum community and tossed bread and corns and other things to the people. And in the process of fighting to get them, some of them got brutalized. And that is another a medium through which the virus spreads. Because when people come together and fight for things to eat, because you think you want to do this to spin this situation to your advantage in upcoming elections, definitely the virus is going to defeat us.
Yeah, so I mean, the good terms to be bad. But your argument with the scenario things in South Africa, is that synonymous to what is going on in Liberia? And I want to bring this specific reference here, and that's why I say there's nothing that you can discuss to undo politics completely. Because there's a talking drum, there's a talking point now in Liberia. The recruitments of this treasure, which of course I hope to get more details. I hope the government or the city corporation will give her the ability. But there's some argument from in the opposition column that these people are seditions, those that were trained by the city corporation, the 6,000 person. It seems to be synonymous to what you are saying, that, okay, maybe this now too is being used to build out a political wave. We know elections 2020, 2023 ahead. We don't even know what's going to be the future of that. But is that still synonymous to what we are talking here, similar to what is happening in South Africa?
It's synonymous to many African countries. Many African countries, many politicians, they are almost of the same mindset. Some of them want to use this situation, even in Kenya, in other countries, they want to use this situation to spin it to their advantage. Because the issue about it is that I'm not opposed to contact tracing, but the issue of contact tracing, if you read my article, you will find there that I said that Africa has not been able to coordinate the scientific class to fight this virus.
Right.
What I'm trying to say is that what is the requirement for a person who wants to be a contact tracer? Because when there's a requirement set up for that person and it's open to the public, then be you opposition or what position or free position, you can access that based on the basis of the requirement on merit. That is my point. You can access it on merit. And secondly, I also think that the government should look in the direction of working with universities, especially departments of science and health and other things, students at the Doklati medical school and other health workers to also get involved in the fight. And that should be the responsibility of the government to coordinate things. Because the least mistake we make to politicize the entire fight, then we have a divided or fight against COVID. And we cannot defeat this virus by being divided. We cannot defeat this virus by making political statements, or we cannot defeat the virus by prioritizing, by using it as an opportunity to give jobs to our partisans. That is not the essence of the COVID-19. There will be several other opportunities for government to create jobs for citizens, for their partisans, or any other thing. But now I think that if there should be any contact tracing battalion or any frontliners formed to trace the coronavirus, there should be certain requirements. And the requirements, one of them should be that this person should at least have medical knowledge of have prior training in the field what they are doing. Because mind you, if you put these people on the line to trace this virus, you are also putting it at risk. You are not only putting it at risk, but you are putting your entire community at risk.
And you exactly, and your point is right, because that's what I was talking about here. I say it's not a bad thing here, but when the identity of these individuals who are going to be a tracer, what happens while running behind child here? There are a lot of people who have medical pre-existing conditions out there, and this person for, and you don't have no idea how to even administer CPR. You were end up killing the person even before you even started here. But let's get some reaction from our onliners. You know the this platform here, and that's what we do. We are not restrictive. We always like to go out and get the future of Liberia, such as this young and progressive John, same with students in the Kingdom of Morocco. My special guest here. But let me just bring some of the concern here to make them to feel part of the program here. Ibrahim Sharif is saying, can you share with us your thoughts on the importance of increasing the health centers and employment of qualified doctors and nurses, Comrade? Do you want to share? You want to throw light on that?
Yes, like I said, that it's no secret to us that we have a challenge in our health system, and that challenge is that there is not sufficient number of health practitioners, including doctors and other people. That is why it's important for our government to coordinate this effort, and this can be coordinated with universities, with health faculties, and also like we also have to create the avenue where we build more centers to keep these people in a very good environment where they will not be resistant. Because if you can record at the very beginning of the outbreak in Liberia, we saw a lot of things with students who came from China who were quarantined. Because mind you, if you have this type of situation where people struggle to have trust in the system, definitely when people experience symptoms of the virus, they will be very reluctant to engage or to approach health authorities. Because this will be an issue where a person will willingly come to you and say, I want to get tested. Because
right, that's why happening here right now.
Yeah, Africa has a very serious challenge with testing kits. So you don't have large scale testing done across the country. You don't have points in the community where people are tested. So the only way you can determine a person is when the person willingly comes to you and say, I want to get tested because I'm experiencing symptoms.
Right.
And to have that type of confidentiality, the person must have a trust in the system. And the person must be assured that when I'm tested, or maybe I'm tested positive, I will have a very good place to be. I will be treated very well. If people don't have that test, they are going to experience these symptoms, but out of fear and out of lack of trust, many of them going to stay home. Many of them going to be doing self-treatment, which is not advisable. And in that, they are going to also spread the virus to their relatives because they have no knowledge of what they are doing because of lack of trust. So we must build on trust, and to build trust, we must assure people, the public, that if you come to we have trained people to handle you, and we have a very vibrant health sector to respond to you when you are experiencing symptoms of the virus.
And that's a very good point that. Folks, if you are joining us, I'm Afonso Zienso, and I'm with student John S. With the second is a Liberian student based in the Kingdom of Morocco, doing international law?
International public law.
International public law. What took you in that direction? I believe there are a lot of things that cranks in the head for which you want to do it. Let's go a little bit here. We're going to be moving back and forward here. Let the people get a sense of who you are and why you decided to go in that direction.
It's important to know that in Morocco, they have the system, they have their law system. And as a law student, certain level in your studies, you have to decide either to study the Moroccan's law or to study international public law. And for me, I think it won't be of no benefit to me to study the Moroccan's law because I don't have any interest of practicing in their bar. But international public law is a branch of international law, because when you do public law, you have two branches of international. You have international public law and international private law, and you have constitutional law, administrative law, and other laws in public law. So international public law is directly about the relationship between countries. Like what you call international relations is also a part of international public law. The relationship between countries and that of non-governmental organization, NGO, and governmental organization and other stuff. It talks about that relationship, and then that of the international scene. So I purposely chose that part as a pathway to my law study, to have a good understanding of how things are done at that level and how countries relate to one country. Because mind you, are living in a continent where in every time we appeared at the table to discuss with other nations, we are not appearing to contribute. We are just appearing as a food to be consumed. Because most often when we engage this negotiation, Africa becomes the victim. And these are things that happen because in international politics, we are not well situated to say. Like for example, if you look at the United Nations, if you look at the 5 countries on the United Nations General in the Security Council, even though African countries are more, but they don't have a representation there. And that is where most of the decisions are made. So if you do a study of that 5 countries there, they veto decision, and once they veto anything from the General Assembly,
that's it.
That veto stands. What is it that Africa will go to? Africa will have many representation, outstanding member of that body, and cannot have a representation there. That should occur to us. Now the situation that is occurring in China, where Africans are being brutalized, Africans are being prevented from going out, their movement are being curtailed. These are situations of international public law. So these are situations that we're trying to settle in the nearby future.
Look, John, I hope people in authority that they are listening, and this is why for us here we are not selective on people to have. We are not too much concerned. I must have this minister. I must have this director here, because there are young and talented Liberians everywhere on this planet Earth that I believe the government or ordinary people can invest into the. So it seems to me that you are going beyond your comfort zone, that you are taking a long-term goal approach to get to the bottom line of these issues. Because, and you're quite correct, we always the victim because we are in the cheering squad. You know, we do not make decisions. We do not sit with the kings. We are not on the king table to have the breakfast, to have the dinner, but we always get the leftover. And
exactly.
We have the expertise. These people, their survival, all of the riches, the worst they are getting, they are all coming from Africa.
Exactly. I told a colleague of mine, I was speaking with a student in China, and they were explaining the situation to me on how people are being treated in China. And I said that, let's take this mathematics. How can African government compel China to step down on racism? China before there was a problem in the United Nations General Assembly. There was a problem with recognition of who represents China. There was 2 countries, the Republic of China that is now Taiwan, and that was the People's Republic of China.
Right.
And these 2 countries, for one to become the representation, the People's Republic of China is currently recognized as the representation of the people of China, gaining the support of African nations to be recognized at the United Nations General Assembly. Aside from that, economically, China sees Africa as a potential marketplace. Exactly. And Chinese goods are being placed on African markets. Aside from that, in terms of construction, Africans abandon their engineers and give huge contracts to the Chinese. There's a huge presence of the Chinese in many African countries.
Your own country, Liberia, is no exception.
Exactly. They are enjoying, they are benefiting. And now, when they have this type of situation where China is treating Africa, then African Union and African leaders sit and do nothing. There are many ways to compel China, just diplomatically to compel China to do the right things. But nobody is seeing this. And the worst thing about it is that Africans themselves have started vandalizing Chinese property in, like for example, I watched a video from Nigeria where Africans got angry and started to vandalize Chinese property. That alone shows a lack of leadership in Africa because the government cannot take siege of this situation and compel the government of China to tell their people to act accordingly. So Africans themselves now will
Taking
find a way
laws
to take
to
exactly,
take laws
and
into
that is
their
not
own.
how things should be done. This is a matter of international relations. There are many ways to constrain China, but many African governments that are waiting to respond to the situation, there are many of them are reluctant to comment on the situation, and I don't know why this is the case. So these are some of the things we should try to look at as Africa, or else in every situation we definitely going to be left behind, and that is not what we hope for. Because the very reason why the African Union was established was not to sit back and just second every motion that was pushed by many of these Western countries.
Well, folks, you can also subscribe. You can follow us live via our YouTube channel. Just go in the YouTube search engine. The program is also live. You go there, you just type in your search engine www Liberia Popular Radio channel, and all you need to do is to subscribe, and you will be able to get an alert here as well here. And that's what we do. We always get the voice views of issues or things that are happening in our country, and as we are also live on the Liberia Public Radio official web page as well. So talk to me. Let's bring in this word brutality. They are also troubling and alarming images, video coming from inside our own country, Liberia. The action by either the police or paramilitary personnel. We saw the video where Boy Scout came into the picture. They form their own checkpoint. They have rotting. They said they work along with AFL. Some say with the police. There is a big disconnect here, and that's where this brutality. In fact, there's a girl from your post. We try reaching out to this family here at Darius Mai or whatever the name. But this lady was told by a friend that were on air when they sent me that information. She worked with GTZ Bank, living in Ghana's Bay area. We are still trying to get more little detail as to what happens to get a version and hopefully to talk to the police too. So this is what is happening. I believe this is where your brutality come in because the police or paramilitary, those that are in charge of the security apparatus, there was no good public awareness. There was no specific instructions, and people just capitalize on what is going on and began to take the law into their hand, and they think they are just above the law.
Exactly, Mr. So is very heartbreaking. And I saw the videos from Liberia, and I saw a few pictures from Kenya. I saw other pictures from Uganda and other countries. You see, the issue with the military, I had a scenario in my article. The first thing we have to address is that the discipline of the military is a problem, and other paramilitary forces. In the case of many of these countries that have dictators, the military don't see service to the people. They see service to the dictator. And unlike other countries that we don't have the case of dictator, we have a democracy. Most of the time, when you have a joint security force, the major thing is coordination and information dissemination. For example, the boss calls with certain areas the boss calls shouldn't go in, or certain, like for example, if you have a let's speak to the issue of lockdown. Lockdown is different from curfew. Lockdown allows you to come in your community or maybe to sit on your porch or sit around your house. If a boss call cannot understand that, definitely there are going to be cases of abuse. And the issue of coordinating the security force is a problem.
But John,
Because
not to interrupt you, there was a video that I saw this morning. I was even trying to get that, and I heard the police would say, "We're telling you, say you go inside, not to sit on the porch." You look at a country where there is no electricity. People, family, people are all jammed up, bucket up, 5, 10, 6 people all in the place, and I mean, it's like they will end up being dead before even the coronavirus because they're going to be all like in one another, and they will be suffocated. So this is where the disconnect is coming from.
seriously, Mr. So seriously, Is a lockdown is different from coffee, mandatory coffee. It's different. In lockdown, people are confined to certain localities to avoid large gathering. For example, in other countries, like where I live, let me take the scenario of Morocco. In the period of this lockdown, you have the opportunity to make movements in your community, but that is limited to your community, and you can also obtain permit to do some other things. That permit can be recognized by the security apparatus, and you cannot deny or deprive a person from sitting on a post, because by sitting on a post, they have now come in contact with other people who can translate this virus to them. They just sit on a post, other people sit on a post. There is no form of movement that will cause any contact or any form of violation of social distancing. So many of the securities that you see on the field, many of them lack, they are not and that's the problem when you have a security apparatus that is not professional. Some of them they understand but just want to be brutal. It's a problem because this situation is not a war against the people. If you install fear in the people and there's a war against the people, if you continue to brutalize people, Mr. So the military presence on the street will become unpopular and there will be resistance. That is not the best way to enforce law. There will definitely be resistance. And we don't want to have a situation where instead of focusing on combating COVID-19, we will be having a boxing match with the military all the time. So the security apparatus must communicate information properly and they should understand these things. And in a case where you see a person, let's say for example, a person is in clear violation of the time for the lockdown. If you find that person, is not a justifiable thing to brutalize that person, to torture that person. It's not a good thing to do. In that they say during lockdown period, still emergency, some rights are suspended, but there are some rights that you don't just.
You cannot just infringe, right? You can't just use
exactly. There's an international protocol that is against torture. You don't torture a person for violating maybe a law or doing still emergency time. You don't torture a person. There should be a way in which we deal with people, and that mechanism should be prescribed. It should be given to people. It should be done by this measure that is going to be put in place. For example, Article 88 of the Constitution, once there is a state of emergency, the legislature will be active. The judiciary will also be active because there are problems that will arise that we have to address.
Yeah,
can we say we fund these people?
Exactly, but yeah, the funny thing that around this side here, I was hearing one of the lawmakers is, well, they're talking about the corona. We are not supposed to be going to work. I say, are you killing me? These people, they really don't know their function here. But this is, I want you to show, I want you to hold on, and I want to show a video here how the victors become the victims and the victors become the victim. That the military, paramilitary people, how they abuse the system, how they take advantage of situation, and they abuse ordinary citizen. This video is something from Nigeria of the behavior of the military, how they are taking the state of emergency or the lockdown in that country. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see something of such surface in Liberia. John, stay tuned, and I will be right back. Let me just play this video, and our folks will see it. You can also view it as well.
I saw you now. I don't even know that we are following. Yes, I'm following you. I don't know. What is this you can do? Let me explain to you. We are following it. This is the most we are going back. We are bring them back. Now, this whole country is under shutdown. How many people there inside the church? See those people there. How many people? You understand me? No, not the reason why I'm telling everybody, no country is under shutdown. And you are carrying passenger. I'm uniform, name. You want me to pension you now? No, you can't pension. You want me to pension you now? You want me to signal you now? Don't help them. I don't want help. Oh yeah, everybody. Offload. Please. No. Don't lie. Let them leave them. Let them leave them.
Please, you need to go back to your books. Inspector General of Police, your office is being abused, is being misused. And I'm so sure the Commissioner of Police is not aware of them. And to make matters worse, from Beggar, I saw a Hilux carrying over 20 people. And I had to stop and ask the officials, why would you allow this vehicle to pass? And somebody said to me, okay, madam, yes, ma. Now, police drive the motor. Police drove the car. So police people suddenly turned transporters. This is not a coincidence. This is definitely what has happened. Because there are three of them, three different people from Beggar to Mowe. Three different people from Beggar to Mowe. Three fully armed, fully dressed police officers who will hold us, who will stop us. That is why you allow a police colleague like you to do illegal job, moving passengers. So why are you keeping us at home? Why are we at home? When whatever is being spread easily.
You are a security officer. Please, I need to see your card. So you are let's get out the car. You are a police officer. So what is the clear point of keeping people at home? Please, I'm telling you.
We are going nearby. We are going
what is the point of keeping all of you come down?
Madam, please.
Hey, don't tell me that. Don't tell me that. You are a security officer. You are a police officer. Which station are you? No, don't tell me that.
Anywhere.
I have anywhere. So is that all of you? How many of you?
Can you listen? Do you know why I want to do this?
Okay, I'm listening to you.
You are my sister. Do you know why I'm telling you? You are my sister. I'm not going to do this. You are doing your best.
I don't want to tell you that. I don't care what you want to eat, but I can guarantee I will impound this vehicle now. Don't tell me I'm doing a real job. You are a police officer.
I see you on the road. Did you see me arguing with you? I have no idea.
How many of you in this car? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
No,
I want vehicle 10, 11 people.
Madam, I am not arguing.
Okay, please.
I am not arguing with you. Why I will not argue with you? Because you are doing the right thing.
Okay, I need solution now. If you don't want me to impound this vehicle, okay. What is solution now?
Solution is that let me drop them out of this bridge.
They are not moving and eat from here. If not, I gather all of you now.
Wait, for dropping them here. Let me put them out of this place. Let them drop them here.
It's even better.
We are all women. Please, madam. I'm not arguing with you. I'm not disputing what you are saying. I'm not disputing it. You
are saying please. What is the point of shutting? What is the point of shutting this whole country down?
Madam, you flash. I stop. You flash. I stop. Because I don't know why. That's why. But
assistance with how many?
No, I say you are flashing you are flashing me to stop. That's why I stop. If you want me to put them out of the place,
the only solution you have to this problem is some of them should disembark. I don't mind giving everybody transport to find their way. But this vehicle will not do this and that. You agree or you don't agree?
Whatever you decide, you have the right to do it.
Carry your original passengers. Everybody knows.
If they are not a passenger, just
go on your own now and beat these people, or now I arrest everybody. Simple.
Madam, when you are doing something,
don't explain anything to me. That is the simple thing now. It is either you are ready to go with not less than how many people, or all of you now.
Okay, how many people can you apart from those people just pay?
What's my business with age? Does age? What's my business with age? Don't tell me to take anything easy. Don't tell me to take anything easy.
Madam, it's okay.
Oh yeah, everybody disembark. Original vehicle owner, find your way. No movement is no movement. You stay at home. Not more than 2 people at the back. Not more than 2. 2. 3 people is not allowed. This guy is not even this place. 2 people. 3 people. This guy is not there. Look at all of you. This place, I saw them. So about what you will eat that day when I was going to 2 people should enter. 2.
Let those women enter the motor.
Okay, John, are you there?
1 year, 1 year, 1 year.
Okay, this seems to be some of the things that we are talking about now. I won't be surprised if some of that stuff is in Liberia. The civilian and arresting paramilitary people. They are using government vehicle, even though they say there's a lockdown, but they are using government vehicle to be transporting and carrying people. Now you see the lady there arrest them and they are backing.
That's a problem. That's a problem. Even the recent case of people impersonating security guards impersonating, and then another issue that I have problem with that some of the paramilitary forces and even the military that's involved in the lockdown, they themselves are not observing the regulations that were given by the NFIL or other public health authorities. You see them stuck up in the back of vehicles with arms, going to fight, going to stop brutalize people, or going to stop people from moving about. But they themselves, by forming clusters in the back of vehicles, they are also putting themselves at risk in fighting the coronavirus. So we have to change our approach, and especially the security guards. They are doing a very great job to keep law and order, but they should understand that the law and order they are keeping, they are not above that law and order. They are subject to the law. They can account for their actions before the law. So when they're enforcing the law, they should be responsible. They should be very cautious how they carry out the law enforcement, because situations as a law enforcement officer,
Hold on 1 second. I'll come to you.
You should use intelligence to deal with some of these situations.
Okay. Hopefully you will hear the caller here. I get a caller on the 612 number 9634. Good afternoon. Are you there, caller? Are you there, caller? Hello, caller, are you there? 612 number, are you hearing me? Let me see. I want to get the volume out. The volume. Okay. I'm not sure whether the person is hearing me. 612, are you there? Okay, go ahead, John.
Yeah. Hopefully, so like I was saying,
I'm not sure why the person line is bad.
Like I was saying, that the people, we have to change our approach, and the security have to understand that this is not a fight against the people. This is a fight against an unseen virus, and their involvement is just to maintain that form of order.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Let me see. Hello, caller, are you there? Hello? Caller, are you there, caller? I'm not sure why. Are you there? Are you hearing me? I don't know why he or she is missing. Okay, let me see. Hello, Pa Josh? Okay. Hold on 1 second. I think that's this. Hold on 1 second. Folks, just bear with me. I think that's my fault. Let me just make a quick change here. Okay. This not either. I looked at the right one too, but I don't know. Let's see what happens. Are you hearing me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, John, are you hearing the caller?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, go. What's your question concern Pa Joy, before I go to my guest?
Oh, okay. Thank you, John, for the piece. The article is very brilliant. But yes, my question: don't you think that the security apparatus, that is the government, that the people in Liberia, victims of the brutality being mounted against them in the name of the coronavirus, don't you think that these people have the right to take the Minister of Justice to court, because the Minister of Justice is the head of the joint security? Don't you think these people have right to seek redress to the court for damages and violating their basic human rights? And look at today, the police today, as we're speaking, the police was in Douala Market, wasting and kicking the market down and stepping in it. What do you have to say of that action of the government forces?
Okay, thank you so much. Let me go back to him so you will respond. Okay, yeah, John, go ahead.
Thank you, Pa George. I'm saddened by the the statement you made, because the government cannot be proposing a stimulus package to fund people or to feed people and stay home, and at the same time, the government is destroying the business of these same people. It's very saddening because I don't see any reason to destroy the business or anything the person is involved in. There's a way you can handle it. And on the issue about the police suing, I think one of the most important things here is the legislature, as the constitution mandate, should try to modify the president's proposal. And part of that, the representatives, they have an oversight responsibility. In some of these situations, like the proposal are being given to them, they have to take a key look at these things presented to them, and they have to insert some very important things here. In that, people, certain rights will be suspended. It doesn't negate the fact that the people you are dealing with, they are human, and you cannot abuse them and go with impunity. So I think these security people should account for their actions, and every one of them, everything they will do, they should be able to account for what they are doing. Because if we keep the situation wherein police continue to brutalize people and go with impunity, definitely in the nearby future we have resistance. We will definitely have resistance. So when we talk about suing the Ministry of Justice, I don't think the Ministry of Justice should wait to be sued. As a responsible government, the Ministry of Justice should ensure that the conduct of the police, the army, is in line with the national emergency or the lockdown. And there should be code that these security officers should follow. They shouldn't just act because they have been given money to prevent people from moving about. They are still acting within the law, and therefore they should consider their actions to be very, 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 very important. And anything wrong that happens, they are definitely going to account for their actions. They will not go with impunity. So the government got to take siege of this, and the legislature should also got to ensure oversight of these things. Police should not just go with impunity by abusing people. So it's very sad, and I hope the legislature will also set some clause within that proposal that prescribe on how a security man can go about when a person is in violation of any of these lockdown measures that have been put in place by the government.
Okay, John, hold on. Let me go to the next caller here. Caller, good afternoon. What's your name and where are you calling from? Caller, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Yeah. What's your question? Go ahead.
I'm calling from NC State.
Yeah. What's your question?
I just want to tell you, thank you so much, you and the studio guest, John Sanders. I wish we could have thousands of you people educating our people and so many African leaders and with their government, It's so sad. Some of the things we see is, it looks like they are not fighting the barrier, they are fighting against people and brutalize your own people. That doesn't mean that you are fighting the barrier. Like in the States, they say lockdown. We understand the government say lockdown, but some family members can even buy food. They drive for distance to come. Government not stop people. They not brutalize people. They will come. They stand 5 days, or they ring your bell. When you look through the window, they say, "Oh, it's me. I brought something for you." It's right to the door, and they get in their car to go. When you in your yard, that is not a curfew, as you guys say. It's not a curfew that you go brutalizing people. And beside that, the whole thing, it was not planned before they coming up with emergency. Before you do that, you got to gain knowledge from the other people. You just can't. You can't just come from the blind side. You say something. You don't get provision of the mandate you giving to the people. You don't educate the people. And our society. Everybody can do their own thing to go away with it without justice, without punishment. So people utilize that to get out. Even some people that they have misunderstanding before, they get out them, treat them as enemies. You see,
Okay.
when the barrier started, and Ivory Coast, Guinea have case. Sierra Leone, what they did, immediately, they didn't waste time, they put mechanisms together and start people coming in and out. While our people, by whom they were marinating, in fact, having huge political gatherings, you know, and forgetting to know that this virus it doesn't have border.
Okay, so quickly here, what's your question or what would be your recommendation to national government?
My recommendation to the national government is that they got to go on drawing board to involve the community, to involve everybody, whether political leader, religious leader, and make them to understand a set of things. And professional people, those are trained to fight this disease. It doesn't. I mean, you don't have youth people that don't have even first aid knowledge. You put that at the forefront. You're making the situation worse. This is not about politics. This is not about I want to win the minds of the people. This is about the country. This is about the people. The same people you say you are protecting, instead of protecting it, you'll be killing them. So education is more important.
Okay.
Public announcement is more important. You got to get involved with other people. Don't say my one can do it because I want my need to go up front.
All right.
It's collective effort.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Flomo. Thank you. Okay, John, there you have it. I mean, those are concerned. I want to welcome Madam Thompson, Marie, about it as well. Okay, John, you want to respond to what the caller said?
Yeah, and he said something very important. All of what he said was important, but one of the most important things that I got from what he said was that the level of holistic engagement to this fight. And when they
caller, hold on 1 second, okay?
And the lockdown was just
go ahead.
imposed, and I heard that some pastors were having crusade and other religious people were resisting the lockdown or the health emergency. That is just another form of I don't know how to call it, but there's also in Liberia we have the Council of Churches, we have the Muslims Council, we have the Interreligious Council. If these people can coordinate efforts, the Council of Churches should be able to tell all pastors that this is a national health emergency, so you should act accordingly. And definitely when we coordinate things at these various levels, it's easier to get the message across than to just have the police presence always to like enforce law or to force people.
Police it should be the last resort, but
it should be the last. It should be the last thing.
I don't know.
The community got to be involved. The churches, the Council of Churches, opposition, whosoever, they should play their part. This is not a time to do politics. This is not a time to politics. This is a time that we should stand together to defeat this coronavirus. Okay. We cannot do that by being selective in how we approach issues. We have to do this and you see, for example, in Liberia, the time that the police should be taking to inform citizens on things, the police, they are having brutal engagement with MCC on who should be a part of national security and joint security. And up to now, we expect the Ministry of Justice to arrest that matter ever since and take siege of that matter.
Why they even allow it to come within the public domain? But hold on 1 second here. I get a caller here. Caller, thank you so much for being patient. 612-9634. Good afternoon. What's your name and where are you calling from?
This is Ben calling from Covington, Minnesota. How are you?
Good. How are you doing today?
Yeah. So because I know I don't have much time, so I will just be speaking all over the place. I just have a little bit of contribution to make.
Okay.
Maybe this is the first time that I will say something good about this government. You know, I have heard more people talking about that things are not clear. And yes, but the reason why things are not clear, that is why it is called an emergency. So an emergency usually are not clear. So that's the reason why the government have that 7 days period in which they can just scratch something out. You just make hasty decisions. So everything will not be fine in those 7 days. So after those 7 days, then you go to the House of Representatives so that you can put something in place. So let's forget about the issue about plan. And the nice thing is that with regards to the videos that you just played, I have watched a lot of those videos from different countries, and what those things, those videos have told me is that the professionalism of the Liberian police
No, that's
is
not
just
to
not.
get it right. That's not Liberian police
Right,
that are
no,
Nigeria.
no,
Okay.
yes, no, I know.
Oh, okay.
I'm kind of what I'm trying to say is that it is not an isolated incident. It means it happens in all of these African countries, which is not right, but it's just so wrong. We just have our police officers that behave so arrogant. Anytime you give them a little, inch, the guys take yard. It is very wrong. And there's another thing that the young man stressed with regards to this whole Ebola. There's this whole thing turning into politics. Mr. So, this thing it is a complete politics now. Even in the U.S. here, we see southern states are not quarantining. I work with these with patients that are directly that have this virus. These people we haven't even been tested yet. It was just yesterday that we had to go to do antibiotic tests to just see if those of us who are working with these people, if we have any antibiotics. So this whole thing, it has politics in it. It has politics in it in Nigeria. It has politics in it in America. And it has politics all over the world. And if we do not take politics out of this thing is going to get worse. It's going to definitely get worse. Because even the U.S. is playing politics out of this thing right now.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And they are playing politics. Because the states that are refusing the quarantine now, what happens if something comes out after? But man, thank you very much.
Okay.
And then thanks to you guys.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay, this is what we like to do. We think every Liberian should have the opportunity to talk about their country, especially the young folks, the young generation. Like John, you heard what the guy said? You want to respond?
Yes, he made some very important points. That is the issue of the politics involved, and we all acknowledge the fact that we should keep politics out of this issue because when politicians try to spin this to their advantage, this is absolutely not politics. So the moment you try to put in politics, and in politics there's always opposing, there's an opposition, there's a government, there's a free position. And I think in this situation, there's only one opposition here, that is the COVID-19. So we all should be proposing, we should not be opposing. So definitely it will create.
But you might have a conversation. So we might have a open conversation, right? If that openness if it doesn't exist, then that's where the opposition comes in. That's where the rejection comes in. That's where the confrontation comes in. So let's be a little bit. Let's get a restrictive here. Do we see the restrictive part here on the part of our government when it all started? I know, like even here, Donald Trump here now he's shifting blame on WHO. They should have done something when he said that it was a hoax, that it was a ploy to get him out of office. Now he's trying to shift blame on WHO, so it's everywhere here. But I'm just concerned here. Can the government, can GOL do it differently? Can they change directions, or is all lost?
Yes, I believe they can change direction, Mr. So, because I have little confidence in the legislature that, like he said, there's a program before them now that they can take siege of this program and do better. Because the 7 day was a honeymoon for the securities. I can say the securities apparatus, the joint securities. They enjoyed themselves, they brutalized people, and things went out of hand, things blew out of proportion, and a lot of things happened. But now is the opportunity for the government to be responsible, and it's the time for them to do this thing right. Because this is the time that they can take siege of this situation by putting in place measures, by modifying these things. Because in the end, there will be no blame shifting here. There will be no blame shifting because leadership is not blame shifting. You don't shift blame, oh, this is the situation, that is the situation. This is an issue of a life and death. And I think the legislature should be very, very, very cautious in how they look at the programs before them. If they have to do modification, they can also add up to what the president has sent there, the executive has sent to them. They can modify it, they can add some things there because They should be the direct representation of the people. They live with the people. They know the situations. Some of them know some of these things that are going on, the brutalization of people. They know some of these things they are of very serious concern.
Would they
So
be
they should raise
honest? Would they be honest in our conversation here? I have a little concern here. Then, if I'm going off track here, anybody you can also call here, and that's what we do. We allow people to speak their mind, expressing view and opinion. Here does not make it the right thing here. But I have my apprehension here with the with what is before the lawmakers, John. And if I'm messing up here, just say it. My guess, I thought they are saying there was a special task force or presidential committee. This committee maybe will propose a budget and outlined. Look at the country. We have 15 political subdivisions. I listened to the president's proposal. I thought they were going to be coming from the committee, and the committee going to go and do that open hearings and tell the lawmakers because they're going to be the implementing arm of the policy. So why is it coming from the president? I'm a little bit confused here. I thought it was going to be the responsibility of this committee to have this budget, outline everything. Maybe, okay, let's say 15 million. How is it going to be apportioned to these various counties? We have to be proactive, like you say. We can't just have it restricted now because Moserado or Mount Gibby they are the hotspot. So we should prioritize. What happens tomorrow down the road, thinking that it's quarrying down, and then something, God forbid, pops out in Sano River G? Then when we come back on the drawboard, I do not see it as a holistic and overview approach. I see it like a short term. Why? I know people need rights, but the bottom line here, they need the medical logistic things that will help to. I'm not sure whether we are preventing it or is it a temporary prevention process method that we are applying here.
Myself have similar concern because I want to think that the committee should consider that, and I'm not trying to be very negative here, but there's a high possibility that all counties will be affected. And that is why when we have two counties that hit, we should try to be proactive, like you said, to avoid these things spreading over the other counties. Now you don't have cases in other counties. That is not a justification to leave them out when you are doing strategizing for prevention. Because you should also be very proactive in the sense that these counties will not be heavily hit, and when you are overwhelmed, then you want to go back to the drawing table. You should always project for things in the future. And another problem there is that, like you raised, the committee and now the president. I don't know what is going on, but I think it's an executive matter. I don't know how they will handle it, but I expected this committee to work on a more local level, to like embrace communities and other counties outside Moserado and Maggie County, to work with community leaders, because it was through community engagement that we defeated the Ebola virus. I think the community should have had interaction with these people, the people who have given them their own concern, because things in Moserado County are different from things in some counties. The priority of the people in Moserado County might not be the priority of the people in Green County. The society might not be the same. The spread at the level at which the virus will spread will not be the same. It's absolutely different. These are different people. They live differently. In Moserado, Magibi, Grand Gillette, Sango, Lofa, the people there live differently. The virus will not be at the same at every level. So I think they should go to the drawing board more, and the community should have more engagement with these people. Because this issue of a short-term plan towards this virus, I don't see it to be a good thing. Because the last time I saw the rate of the virus in my own area where I live, I saw about 3 cases. The next time I checked the virus, it was at 500. The next time I checked, we were already hitting 2,000, and I think today we should be at 2,000. So this thing is not something to manage. Something that the community should think broader, out of the box. Just see it as a means of confined in Moserado and Maggie County. They should have more engagement with community leaders locally and have more engagement with chiefs in various counties to see how they can have this fight at a national level, not only in Moserado County. And the proposal, like you said, some of these proposals might be good, but it might not reflect the needs of all of the people involved. Because these proposals were basically doomed for maybe people in Moserado County and in Maggie County mostly, because I'm aware that in other parts of Liberia, there are difficulties with electricity. And they don't have electricity, they don't even think of sustaining electricity, so that is not their own problem. So there are problems they have there also that have to be addressed. And to have knowledge of this problem, they have to engage these people on a local level. But to just sit in Morovia and decide what is going to happen across the country, we're going to give this to this country, I think they have to do more engagement with the communities, and they have to engage this fight on a local level and stop sitting and just projecting for people in that manner.
Exactly, and I hope people that have the leaders they are listening to all of this here, because I mean, we are going to have this sort of concern because we want the best to come out of Liberia. And I'm looking at the transparency aspect. The committee is appointed by the president, which of course he has the constitutional authority to do so. So the committee is a direct representation of the president. I thought about this opening session. My guess, what I thought somebody lawmaker, you see, that's where people have to be farsighted. I thought maybe somebody would have even suggested on the floor, if that was done today. I did not hear it, and I stand to be corrected, that somebody maybe would have suggested that they need to call in this committee. By this time, they should have something to tell the lawmakers. Not the president.
Exactly.
Not the president to just. You understand what I'm saying? Not just only the president.
I understand your point, Mr. So.
Is this the view of the committee? Because at the end of the day, it is not the president, and so the president should not that much inject himself. Just give the instruction. It is this committee that will give a comprehensive report to the Liberian people. You remember what happened in the Ebola case? Would there be transparency? The structure, the compositions of this committee. I have serious concern.
Exactly.
Where is the civil society representation? Where is the civil society? Yeah, where is the civil society representation? It looks very small. I don't think this is it. How many people? You know, you gotta go out, and that's where the apprehension of people. Because when you just fix something that seems to look like something that is being micromanaged, then of course people are gonna have an issue. And it's difficult, John, for people to say not to have politics, because why? It is politicians that are making these decisions. So politics will always be injected in this conversation. I don't care what you do. There's no way to dance around it. We have to say it as it is.
I think that's the case, Mr. So, and myself have similar concern because, like, let us be clear. Let's call the spade a spade. Those who are appointed to head this committee, they are confidant of the president. And apart from being confidant of the president, they have a long relationship with the president. Some of them are even partisans of the president. So there are a lot of concerns being raised in this entire situation. And like you said, the civil societies have done a lot in awareness to this fight. You cannot leave them out. A Morovia committee alone cannot steer this affair. And the issue about reporting is very important because this committee should report to the people, and to report to the people, it should be through the representations of the people. And this is only possible if this committee can sit with the legislature and see how best the legislature can be able to interrogate some of these methods and some of these things that they are proposing. Because when these things just come from the president as a proposal, the president is going to, yes, he's going to be there. He funded the committee, but on the issue about the reporting of the committee and the workings of the committee, the president will not be very, very involved as compared to the people. So the committee should make report to the people. They should be able to inform the people on some of the things that they are doing, and they should be able to be open out to get other people involved, get local communities involved, get the government involved, and I mean the legislature involved, and every other sector of our country should be involved so that this can be a holistic fight. Because already people have started saying that people are targeting an opposition in this fight against the coronavirus. I heard that statement from a lot of guys who I spoke to. Oh, the police, they are being selected. Even some lawmakers have alleged that the police are being partisan, they are targeting opposition and doing this. These are things that I find difficult to understand, because when these things are infused into this fight, we're definitely going to have a divided fight, and we're not going to win if we have this situation where there are allegations that oppositions are being targeted and this person is suspected because of the person relationship. The same measure cannot be applied to them. I think we have to be very, very transparent in how we do things, and we should take lessons from the Ebola crisis to see how we engage COVID-19, or else we will just have this situation out of hands here.
Yeah, and I mean, it is. That's it here. 25 million is nothing. It's a chicken change for the sovereign nations. There are some, maybe that just somebody, is the 1% or some little community in the place here, that's their whole budget. That's also. So I think this committee they need to come up with a not just a short term, but with a long term plan. Nobody knows. Here we are here. Nobody knows when this thing gonna come to an end. So we have this 25 million. This is this 25 million. They're talking about full support and free electricity, free water. I'm curious here, domestic arrears and all of that. Is it covering the entire country, or are we just focusing only on these cities right now? What happens? And the probabilities of infiltration of these nearby cities and are going to be potentially going to be benefiting people going to be creeping in to come.
Exactly.
I want race. I want some kind of assistance. So how we do not have a system where that if I'm from Mosorado County, I'm from Mosorado County. If I'm from Grand Gita, we do not have a standardized identity that, when you're from Bon County, there is something that to show that you are Bon County. So suppose I come here today, I just manage pass through Riverside and manage jump through Mangibi there, and I'm from Grand Gita. Will you tell me, say, why were you? I do not have a driver license. There's no county driver. There's no identity to show that I am from this place. So I'm not sure how they're going to manage that.
I think local engagement is important.
That's where the locals. That's where the locals and local organization comes in, because they know their neighbors they know who is within their local. That's why you can't just not leave them out here. It's not just about rationing. We want people to get, but it must be done the right way. Other than that, you're going to have few people just going to be benefited, and the big people are going to start rationing a food again, and those who are intended for it, they will not get it. And that's the fear. That's my apprehension. I just like to think ahead of the game.
Exactly, and we have to try to avoid that, because, like you said, the situation, I think the committee has to decentralize their activities, and they have to address every sector of our society, and they also have to incorporate more and more people, especially on a local level, in this particular issue, because, like you said, people will be trucked from one area to another to come and vote here because they can get something from here. There's a huge possibility also that people might migrate from other areas, because there are certain
leave from Ghana and go spend leave from Ghana and go spend night in real life to go get extra cups of rice and all those kind of things. I know they're gonna get money. I don't know, but it's I don't know how they're gonna manage that though.
I think it's not very clear, but like the Constitution says that legislature should be able to modify and to answer the ambiguities that are in that document. But I think that things are not really defined as they should be, and there are a lot of other people who are celebrating, but other people are not celebrating, and other people are celebrating, but the long term impact on the entire package that is being given is another problem, because when we have a situation where other people start feeling left out, and other people start having allegations of partisans and other things, priorities. Like I said, the situation in South Africa, when we are not very careful, we're going to have that situation, because if we have a situation where people start prioritizing partisans to distribute things to them and other things, so that is not very clear. And because it's not clear, people are going to have problems. And I think that's why the legislators should do more work. Because in South Africa, everywhere, a political party share to go and distribute rights, distribute oil, and give other things. But where in that political party share or Nigeria doing this type of periods is indirectly campaigning. And definitely certain communities that are not also, maybe they are opposition based, stronghold or whatever, they also have problems, and their response might be different. And those who also doing the distribution, their integrity also matters. Their integrity matters, because if you have people who are upstanding political candidates and involved heavily into this situation and start to play politics, it's not going to be good for us as a nation. So I think the legislature has to do more work in looking at that document, and they have to also create a link this committee will directly report to them, and they will have complete oversight on this committee, because until now we don't have a clear understanding of what this committee is going to be doing. as per the plan that they submitted to the legislature recently.
Okay, well, it's 1:42 Eastern Standard Time here. Look, John here. Let's look at the conclusions of your article here. Overall state of emergency, other than one in which the vulnerable can afford their daily needs, will be, if not impossible, but very difficult to enforce. To avoid this catastrophe, African governments must complement state of emergency with a well-designed program that caters to the vulnerable and keep people in their homes alive. When this is done, I believe that it will ease the job of health practitioners in tracing infected persons, and in a large sense, Africa will defeat COVID-19 against all predictions. So, wrap it up here. What is the catastrophe that we are talking about to avoid here before we go?
We are talking about a situation like we previously said that when this article was written, like on Saturday, there was a lot of African countries that we counted in name that was just using the military to have people stay home, but there was not a design program to keep these people home, and many of them took these lockdowns from European countries, and you can clearly agree with me that there's a difference between European countries, Asian countries, and even America, that of Africa. So the situation that we clearly stated there was that when you don't have a program that will be able to complement this lockdown, where you can cater for the vulnerable, like the disabled community. How do we deal with the disabled community? We've not been able to understand how these people will be able to afford, because for them, the end are living by begging on the street. How do we deal with those who
Now,
are perpetrators?
they're not going to go in the street no more. So where do
No
they get
more.
their living?
So this is why we say that most Africans governments should design a program that caters for these people. And this program, like when we say where defined, we mean where design. Because if you don't have this program where design, you just have a program that is maybe just projected for a few days, or is not regular, is not effective, is not transparent. Definitely you're going to have heavy resistance. And once we have this type of situation where we engage people on a local level, we design this program, like most other African countries now have started moving in that direction gradually. When we have this thing, definitely it will be very easy for us to trace people, because when there's a case in John Brown's home, it's easy for you to get to John Brown's home, because John Brown is alive. John Brown can afford to eat. John Brown can have what it takes to stay home. But when we have a situation where there's resistance, people don't have their needs, definitely when they will have to choose between survival and prevention, they will definitely choose survival. And that is going to defeat us. So I think that this program, every other African country should follow suit. Once you have a lockdown, before even thinking about having a lockdown, you should have a program designed to cater to people, because you understand the psychology or the sociology of the society you are dealing with. So that's what we're trying to say when we say that there should be a well-designed program.
Well, folks, there you have it, and we will always continue this sort of venture to tap into the expertise of all Liberians, regardless of who they are, their age, their political power, affiliation to the association. But we strongly feel the young generations in today's world have a greater part, because the future of our countries is in the hands, and that's young men. Mr. John Silison with the second is a Liberian student. He studies international public law at the Khalid Ahad University in Marrakech, Morocco, in the Kingdom of Morocco. Making his contribution to his country. Man, you well defended your piece that you put in place. We will continue to tap into your expertise, and I think we should give the young people chance to be part of a international discord. And I hope someone listening that there will be some sort of reconsideration in the composition of the committee, and to make it more broad and to create transparency. Thank you so much. What are you leaving with us before we let you go?
Okay, I want to say thank you firstly to you, Mr. So, and to the Liberia Public Radio family. And you always been interested in flagging some of the very important issues in our society. We want to say thank you on behalf of the students here. We want to say thank you again for your contribution, and to our viewers and listeners. We want to say thank you so much. And I apologize for my voice; it's not very good with the weather here. And I also want to say to you that number one, do not spread ignorance. Coronavirus is real. Don't touch your face. Follow all of these prescriptions, and also to government officials, whosoever is connected listening, there should be reconsideration in the approach towards the virus. We should limit the force and use more in dealing with. And to generate our listeners, gradually we will try to contribute to this discourse, especially ones of international concern, local concern, and of Africa at large. We try to do our best to see how best we transform our education into something that can be tangible to affect our community. So thank you to our listeners. Thank you to you, Mr. So, for the opportunity. Once again, I'm very grateful. And I want to convey our greetings to everyone listening, the students in Morocco, the entire students community. We want to say thank you for following this program and thank you for your support.
All right, thank you. You see, they see why other people were arguing. What are students? What are doing there? So if all of us were going to send the hundreds or more plus students, then all of them going through this sort of debacle that is ongoing. We need to preserve some quality of our country, and so it's good that they are there. You know, they are tough times now, but there are better days ahead. Mr. Sinwit, thank you so much. Please feel free to, and all of the other our regards to the entire student population, Angie. Elizabeth, I see it, what his name, Rubel, and all of these folks. I really enjoyed having that conversation. And please let's keep in touch. Don't hesitate. Any of them who wants to share something, with the general public, we are not selective to people. We just once we get a substance of the discussion, we will open up and have that conversation. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. So.
All right. Okay, there you have it. Student John S. Silising with the second student international public law. That's what we need to do now to open our country as well. And that was a very beautiful engagement. His article here, very, very much, very interesting to read. It outlines so many things here. Critical issues that are part of our daily life, our society. And I hope, and we'll talk to him. This here will be public tomorrow on our official platform to all of the students, Mament, Tuawant, and all of the Alicia, and all of the students, Elizabeth, Angie, and all of the students in the Kingdom of Morocco. We say it, please, do everything possible to, the whole thing is that that's the entire world. There's nowhere that is really left untouched right now. So it's hard to say. So please take good care of yourself because you are there for the purpose. Abide by the laws. There's a foreign land. They have their own way of doing things. So please understand that, and our prayers and thoughts goes out. We are happy that things are moving gradually fine at that. And so please, just in case if there's anything that you wish to discuss, talk about in the future, don't hesitate. Let us know, and we'll come right back here to have this discussion. To all our followers, your comments, your tweets, and those that even call in, and by just taking time to view this here this afternoon, we want to say thank you so much to all of you, to Antonin, to G. William. We say thank you to all the ladies and folks and followers of the Liberia Public Radio. We say thank you so much. We'll do everything possible we can. This guy, the Independent Council of Patriot, the group been so plenty in Liberia. I don't even know what they register, what are they paying, what is their leader, Newville. There's a rendezvous. He has something to say to the Liberian people. He reached out with us early this morning, very early this morning, to set a rendezvous. To the extent he wanted to come today, but I told him that we already had a rendezvous, then there's no way. We don't give preference to people because of whatever reason. This young man, I said we had a rendezvous for today. And I cannot undo that because maybe politician wants to talk to me. No, but I think we will give him a chance. Hopefully, our rendezvous is on Friday. We are hoping to also get word from the police. The Assistant Minister of Public Affairs at the Ministry of National Defense, Sam Collins, who used to be police spokesperson during the Helen Johnson's leave. You remember yesterday the images we saw about two persons allegedly to one that's AFL impersonating terrorizing people. They were arrested, they were picked up, and they were turned over to the LIBERIA National Police, where potential charges will be filed. But we need to know moving forward, what are the measures going to be put in place. We hope to talk to Moses Carter, and we are hoping that these people make themselves available. You know, that's the only saddest thing of it. You call them, they look at your phone, you even send text message, and you introduce yourself, and that's when they can determine to whether they will do or not. And we hope we are still patiently waiting for our pass. The folks in Liberia, we do not know the reason why. I mean, because it's within the purview of Minister Eugene Fagon. To the extent the Reuters news agency correspondent, our understanding, has not been given, they have not granted them pass. That's an international cable wire. So why are they doing that? Why this sort of selective way of doing things? And look among the group, yeah, you need to get a water to drink, you can't get, you go sit down, you are not one of us, you are not part of our group. It's wrong. And there are other tons of media, news outlet, both electronic and print media, yet to still be issued pass, even though those people are always there during regular press briefings. So why, when it comes to the coverage of Corona, you need to make use of all of these things, and it might be good for you, because at least they will give us the narrative. And what they do not understand, the international community, whether you like it or not, they see this outlet as an independent source. They can take information from them more seriously than even when EIBC is reporting it, because while there's a tradition that state-owned radio, state-owned network, they would never report anything against the state. So they see credibility in this network that are more or less independent. So it will be in your favor. So if you are not doing something and they say accuse you of doing, and then the other independent news outlet report is say no, the government is not doing this, that's fine. Our correspondent in Nima County, he reported day before yesterday, how the joint security team are working with the locals. That's a good news. When we get it, we say it. We don't keep it. We don't antagonize government. We don't antagonize people. We report it as it is. Once it is verified and well authenticated, that's what we do. Our correspondent in Banga, Bon County, Bertin Tino, he was taken with other local reporters. They were taking on a tour. And we saw that visually because it was live, with the police commissioner or police chief showing that, making sure that things are okay. It is good for you. So what do you have to hide? We hope those that are in charge, they will do everything possibly. We are here. We're not against the government. We're not against the opposition. But every media institution has a responsibility. You are the watchdog for the citizens. You're not serving the president. You're not serving the opposition. You're not serving government officials. You are the watchdog, and you represent the true image and aspirations of the citizenry. And you want to make the news proportional. And that's how, I don't care how ugly it is, when we even hear it from the government, we also try to reach out to them to verify so that we can get their version. You don't just get it and run with it. But it becomes more difficult that when you even get it, you want to talk to them, and they are not making themselves available. Then that's the saddest thing about it. We hope that they will change course, because all we are doing, we want to just make sure that one of the oldest republic on the west in Africa, the West Coast, Liberia, is well. The disease is real, and we do not intend the people should use this as a springboard to to elevate their political star, or to justify their political and state inclusion coming the 2020 or 2023. That's not what it should be like. And we hope that people are going to take a long-term goal to address all of this critical issue. And we have to help everywhere, all of us. Miracle Way from New Jersey to give a donation. So all of us have an obligation. Well, until then, folks, it's 1:57 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here in the East Coast. I want to thank you so much for taking off your time to be on this network here, to have this program. Of course, today is Wednesday. The Liberal Progressive from Sacramento, California, Samson Brown Toe, will be here this afternoon for his program, Conversation with Samson Toe. Until then, have a pleasant afternoon. Let's take this commercial here to part of the youth for change. They are contributing to having this beautiful commercial. So why not you make use of the group in Liberia to talk to their peers group.
Social distancing is key to stopping the spread of COVID-19. Even at home, during these difficult times, please observe it. None of these measures are safe. The WHO has advised only infested persons or ones who are caretakers of infested persons are allowed to use masks. Overall, please stay home, stay safe because we care. A message from Youth for Change Incorporated. Social distancing is key to stopping the spread of COVID-19. Even at home, during these difficult times, please observe it.
Thank you for watching Liberia Public Radio from the New England Bureau of the Liberia Public Radio. I am Afonso Zane, so thank you for being part of our program. Stay tuned.
I just want to thank you. I just want to thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I just want to thank you. I just want to thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cause time is the best. The life we are living, nothing lasts forever. The life we are living, nothing lasts forever. Some days are bad, but some days are good. Oh. Some days are bad, oh, but some days are good. Sometimes you are up, sometimes you are down. Sometimes you cry, but sometimes you laugh. I've come to tell you, your present position can never decide your future position. Today you are down, tomorrow you will be up. Today you are down, tomorrow you will be up. Today you are suffering, tomorrow you will enjoy. Today you are begging, tomorrow you will give. Today you are crying, tomorrow you will smile. They love me and living, cause time is the best. Go and fighting, only go and drop the fly. The motherless child, only go and drop the fly. So I come to tell you, to keep the faith, oh keep the faith. Papa go and see you through. Cause time is the best time. Can't change anytime, man. Go party.
Ablijo be moyen be vle ti blenka jira ke na won britanji be ngen de pare ro bochen ba webe wada corona virus ke jiji we da da bira muni no oje ke we ma corona virus ke o se penye nwine o da ba ku ke ona nyo private ba woro kanana ke oje ke webe ma corona virus ke de be nyi twen ke mo ni jo yu wa blin son be aje nyoni ke nyi ko ni pra o ke nyi san ni pra ni me jo yi ka be de ro da pa nwe Menje de diyan ben ginin ke kwa menyu wana ka jenyo ke kwa mo igwo nyu ka be na blike de du yin mo yin benge de to be o be nyu ben ge wana ke ben go yiblanye ben go mbuchen o kinki mo monda ben ge nyuru mo kwanyi tode soni mo de suike nin mo yin drian kwai boti sembla juke nyi bo mu ke na de soni dre kwai nyi dero yipoi ni me dre kwai o kwin mo we sembla ke ti sembla ke me dre kwai boti pra kwin o tani mo monda ben ge de ben nyo pra po ye bengere mu o nyeni mo ni son ke me ba won juke nyi ko mu o nyi san ni o munio ke mo monda benge ni mi memero konne o ni no ji meke nje ku o je monda bengo ta o bengo yidu bengo di se pare nsa igu de be ba ke nyuru o ji fiba bre o ji yo kwa be na wo je nyuni ke yi ka tre ni be pa pide mu wura be ni ta to be o wa ko mu monda be ro mo bengo ke bun fwen cha ke juke dero jiji debe panton we mu obre frokpa be koni be mu be ko komna nyobe o nyobe be wane penye be ko abo chenwura nezuo bamba mi obodu toje botina kamu pona ke debe so nye omode Ministry of Health prayer mu robo kemu
anye pokra wa na wura wa mu sonati na ji na be amplede de na ji be amplede mo kwete omone ojira kunu ambo kwera o dratunye pojudu akwarati o patunye pojudu o police na o gba wa kunu amu wo onyine mo coronavirus kan ye nu odade ne kwera o se kurekon ajira ba obo fon ne ma be o ji mpona ne na kokure ne shan parem ja na fura mu ne sunu ne tine du anti na shanati e ma be na jira be tijira de kuren ba nu ka na woro ne na woro yi mara ne puam no kunya ne kuti ne be prerem de ne ba nu o le shawa nkpon krabro akpo kia kwarati onena abroakpo ete akomba repetipo ne o shankpo jisa de mbe nura mo botunyi po yidu kwatutu ema be mu dere mo tun detenya ne ji ne woto kwe tiwe woto wa kwe wona kwe na bi woto wa wo kare esha be nita semre bi bombo ti troneo ema be fufonye po yidu ifota troni boti bore fufonyo nyempape ne ema be najira be kokure mo najira be sha ne pokwa wi na sha ta na kokure ndo wure on se tunye po yudu ti buburare nimere o mena puru bo nya tuntun mo bo didie ponya kwagbe o ma me ko na gba dero tu de bele mo prosun blekri yo depo e ma be tunye boju o foran shone noja mo ti karebe in o fosation ne wura ka na kpo piteti yo botunye po yulo boti kwane ebe tene nyingbe no nyati na buenu ne emabe je nyingbe ore osha tane aniara osha kon ke owo wura oti ne aprere anye fo pore iniane tane aniara ne biyo tijira de kote owo wura ti yo ne puse na poam to wacho na ba ti ko bam no kunya pokretien kri se tipo sara e de tamwa Ministry of Health e mwa kenwa anyo piansa
welcome ambla kaunga twai ulo kpangang ageku para kapo kumuka yi lono e plana crofry yi nyawo apanwe ngabo dakama coronavirus anu pai ngine kwa tamama coronavirus ka crofra yi nyawo anu so kwala mimintama ega gbunu fama ega nuye ton ega nuye tiho tena ya mara ge koponga gabe kale age crofang tahupa kulwa ngamba enu raso aga mage ya ge ya bete ge ye ton iwo to kpoma anele menga ba moi ipela de kema ye kula van kema le ga banuma ye kula ma hu van ka kanda ka van ka ye yinga wa akporo da ya ten kreno ya kwela li lo kema pa dowosi ba ma aga ya yila sanama igron jamvele ne ye yinga wa ninga subscriber yinga wa no atenke kle ivole ponju benu tamaka nai ifolina ya ga ba ton iye plela ya ga ba ti hoy iye plela iwela swapoma yi yokro jambai pama iwo swapon kana to loy iwo je yomi akanu da kpunu afama pama nu da awaka newe anele mane age manu tu ele sapela de salte bona nui kofra kamai iwo siegwa nu na paka kwesu yi v ananu pore kanena ge nu ngandume krong plana manu tu ma kase ka wotoy ngulo apaka po akrai nukulu yinga de ka jalme kre ngundo library siba yi da ka da Ministry of Health.
Shall long be ours, though new her name, great be her fame, and mighty be her power. Though new her name, great be her fame, and mighty be her power, and mighty be her power, and mighty be her power. 1, 2, 3, 4, in joy and gladness with our hearts united, we'll shout the freedom of our rights united. Long live Liberia, happy land, this home of glory, liberty of God's command. This home of glory, liberty of God's command. All hail